Right, 26 June 2024, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick update on the news that is taking place all over the country. And today I've got quite an interesting set of revelations that have been made. So let's start with what's happening with Mnangagwa's projects. Mnangagwa has launched at least 4 new projects, all of them similar to the ones that Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu were running. So this is projects in the agricultural sector, and all of these projects are corrupt. They're corrupt projects. There are no tenders that are going to be issued on these projects. So what happens is that someone is just going to wake up and they're going to be a billionaire from these projects. And I'm going to break them down for you. But the worst project ever that has been launched is the cattle buying project. And this project was launched yesterday. It involves the Ministry of Lands. So it looks like all the corruption that is taking place in Zimbabwe is taking place through the Ministry of Lands. Yeah, that is where currently Mnangagwa is doing all the corrupt projects. And the way that they do this is through construction of those tanks that I showed you here and other installations. So they do a lot of installations all over the country, and they put boreholes, they put infrastructure, and they put equipment. So in this case, they have now banned the buying and selling of cattle by private individuals. So no person in the country is now allowed to sell and buy cattle. And all this cattle is going to be bought by the government. But when they say the government, it's obviously not a government department. It's individuals that are going to be buying through contracts. And this is where billions and billions are being made. And when I talk of billions here, I'm literally talking of billions because the actual installation costs a lot of money. And let me unpack some of the projects that they've put in place here. So they've put in place that cattle buying project. They've now put again the goat project with Tatenda Mavetera, which I showed you. They've also put in place an IPP project, and the man I'm displaying here is David Madzikanda, and he is the father-in-law of Wicknell Chivayo. So you know he's the ex-wife of Wicknell Chivayo. They have now put in place a project where they're going to be having IPP and chargebacks. This is one of the other projects which you cannot say exactly what is happening. So we're talking here of 3 full projects that are being run. So let's look at the other project here. There's then the 4th project, which is a national presidential title deeds project. The national presidential title deeds project will involve taking all rural land and then putting title deeds on that land. You remember that earlier this year, there was an announcement that there will be all land belongs to the president. You remember that announcement? Now they've come together and they've put in place a plan for how to do this. So every piece of land all over the country is going to be split up and there will be a title deed on that land. And you know what that means. The person who's going to do the pegging, the person who's going to do the surveying, all this is a lot of money that is going to come out. So we've got 4 new projects. In fact, it's 5 new projects. So that's the goat scheme, the cow buying project, the IPP and solar project, the title deeds project, and the borehole drilling project that I showed you earlier this week. And all these projects, they're being run from the office of the president, and corruption here is going to be rampant. You're going to see a lot of, and this comes still before the other projects have been investigated. The Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission has been stopped from investigating all the other projects. They cannot investigate Mike Chimombe. And yesterday there was a letter issued. If you look at the newspapers, you'll see that a letter has been issued by Blackdeck. So Blackdeck is the company which is implicated in this project. They've issued a statement that Mike Chimombe is not part of their company. So immediately the ZACC charges against Mike Chimombe have fallen away. They don't have any case. ZACC no longer have a case against Mike Chimombe. ZACC has stopped updating on that case. They're no longer updating because they do not have a case. and they've basically been ordered not to investigate. They've not been investigating Chigumba. They've not investigated Chivayo. They've basically stopped investigating Wicknell. They've stopped investigating Moses Mpofu. And now they've said there is no link between Mike Chimombe and Blackdeck. You also realize that the company called Blackdeck Private Limited has indicated that they only received 4 million and not 40 million. This means that if they are forced to pay back the money, they will just pay 4 million back from the 40 million, and then the whole case will be closed. So these are open corrupt projects, and these are all being run by Mnangagwa directly from his office. So this thing is directly connected to Mnangagwa himself. I now want to quickly go through the news. So let me look at this case here, again, involving people very close to Mnangagwa. So this businessman in here is called Amos Cabona, and this man took his own life. I want to think he did, but his body was found in front of the house of a man called Felix Mnyaradzi. Felix Mnyaradzi is a close ally of Police Commissioner Matonga. They are very close to each other. He's also a very close ally of, if you look at Chombo, Ignatius Chombo, and Ignatius Chombo is a very close family member of Mnangagwa. So if you look at this picture here, you'll see in the back there that one of the twins is over there. And that is because they are very close to each other. And there is a certain man called the Delishingwaya is also in the mix in this whole thing. So I do not know what happened here, but this involves land deals. The whole case, which resulted in the death of Harare businessman Amos Cabona, is directly linked to Mnangagwa's family, and it's linked through the people that I've shown you, which is Matonga and Chombo. Chombo is the father of Pokelo. Pokelo is the son, the daughter-in-law of Mnangagwa through one of his sons. She's the second wife of Mnangagwa, one of Mnangagwa's sons. So you can clearly see that this man, his death was not normal or natural. In fact, what happened is that at the time when his body was found, he was supposed to be in court getting judgment over some land deals with Felix Mnyaradzi. So he drove from Ashton Park and went to Borodale West, and that is where his body was found. People got out of the houses after they were told that there was a body over there, but they could not tell when he died and how he died. So he was found near the gate of Felix Mnyaradzi, but no one saw him shooting himself. So it's a very strange case, but things happen around Zimbabwe. A lot of things happen. You never know exactly what happened. But all these guys are well connected to the Mnangagwa family. Now, I want to quickly look and see if the Herald newspaper is published. When I'm in the hotel, I just don't know how loud my voice is. So I want to try to avoid going for a long time. Otherwise, my neighbors will wake up and knock. Let's look at a very interesting story. So when I was in Zimbabwe last year, I went to Kariba and I parked my car at the border gate. So I went to Zambia, and the first person I met there was Bright Matonga, right? So in the Herald newspaper today, it's saying Bright Matonga has been arrested for theft. So let me show you the story so that you can see what I'm talking about. So let's display this story for you. I do not know who Bright Matonga is connected to, but he seemed to be very connected. So let's look at this story. Former Deputy Minister of Information, Bright Matonga, has been arrested on allegations of stealing farming equipment worth nearly 500,000 in Chegutu. Matonga is alleged to have stolen the equipment belonging to farmers who were leasing his farm. National Police Commissioner Paul Nyati confirmed the arrest last night. Right, so this is the story here. He says, according to the sources, Matonga was in a joint venture partnership with an unnamed white farmer with whom he had a misunderstanding. The white partner then tried to withdraw his implements, including tractors, but Matonga seized some of the implements, and that is where the charge is emanating from. Right, so you can see Kuti Matonga here is in trouble once again. In 2019, Matonga was cleared in a case in which he had been accused of duping a Malawian national of US 10,000 in a Bosch deal involving demonetized Zimbabwe dollar notes. The complainant, Kevin Chipeta, who is based in South Africa, on August 22, 2019, withdrew the case in the Harare Civil Court, where he was claiming the US 10,000 and Harare magistrate, Ms. Len Mohamed Pierre, removed the case from remand. Matonga was being jointly charged with Onesimo Ndoro. So I don't know why this case is coming up now, but you can clearly see that corruption is rampant among the ZANU-PF guys, and they take advantage of their closeness to Mnangagwa to cause all sorts of corruption. So as I said, I'm in a hotel now. I don't want to talk a lot and cause a lot of noise because people will come in and knock and say, Gambakwe, what are you doing? So what I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to move around a lot today. I'm still here in Botswana. I'm planning to go and see other places, and I'm going to be updating you guys. You've seen what I've shown you, and it's all very, very important. I'm also going to show with you certain adverts. A lot of the corruption that is going to happen now is in the land area. So in the area of land, Zuma project, Mnangagwa, there's a land, and there's a join. Apana chinobuda, pana Mnangagwa. I can tell you guys, no matter how much he tries, Mnangagwa won't be able to do anything, because I told you that projects in the land sector don't scale. They don't scale. What he needs to be focusing on right now is fixing the currency, making sure the economy works, expanding productivity. And Mnangagwa is not capable. He only knows about land, because land is easy to steal. My project is land. That's where they steal. And they use the same group of people to steal. And nothing is ever going to come out. And eventually, as I said to you, the military guys will have to intervene in this whole situation. There is no one who's available right now who can intervene. They are all corrupt deals. All these deals are crazy, and I do not know why everyone is just leaving this to continue. This situation is very, very bad. I do not know how to even describe my feelings about this whole situation. Let's look at South Africa and see what is in the news. I'm going to display for you here on the screen so that you can see what is trending in South Africa. The GNU is collapsing. I told you that there is no way that the DA is going to be able to work with the NC. It's not possible. Those two parties are too different. NC is too corrupt to be able to work with the DA. The DA is going to eat their lunch. The DA knows how to run government, whereas the guys from NC, they do not know how to run government. The only thing that they know is corruption. If you look at the government of South Africa, you'll be shocked at how corrupt everything is. Like, everything is basically tenders and mismanagement. That is basically what is happening with NC. That is their biggest weakness. Government departments are not functional. If the DA was to get government departments, you will be able to clearly see the difference between the DA and the NC. And that will even make the NC worse off. They will end up losing. So let's look at the picture here. Members of the Umkhonto weSizwe Party, Sihle Ngubane, Duduzile Zuma Mabundla, Mhlamulo Ndlela, and Muzi Njingila during their swearing in as MPs. So we've got the new MPs and the young lady here, Duduzile Zuma Sambundla. She is doing very, very well. She's been representing her father very, very well in everything that he's been doing. And MK Party is actually going to be the party of the future in terms of if they can organize themselves. They don't have structures. That is the biggest problem. You cannot run a party without structures. We've seen how structures are important for a political party. The MK party's biggest problem is right now they're operating like an army without a base. If you've ever seen an army without a base, they will never win. They, they can only force you onto the negotiating table. But an army without a base will never win an election. They can win certain areas, but they cannot become a governing party. So that is the problem with the party without structures. And then pensioners arrested for murder of men, 80, both die in custody. And this is a very sad case that happened last week. Two pensioners, aged 75 and 92, were jailed for killing an 80-year-old pensioner, and they were in jail right now, and then they just died. Sad case. Badara it's not Mira Shakunaka. Said this said when I saw the pictures, I was very sad about this whole case. And then let's look at I want to look at Business Day and see if there are any business news taking place in South Africa. Okay, Business Day is published. I'm very happy that all the newspapers are publishing, and this is very important. Then, guys, you know there's a company around the Timu, and the Timu is this company where you buy cheap stuff. I tried to buy something from Timu, and I didn't like the experience. Let me tell you why I didn't like the experience. I bought headphones that cost 400 rand, right? But then they were discounted to 80 rand. So my payment was 80 rand. However, when the headphones landed in South Africa, their courier company then charged me 50 rand. And I felt cheated because it means for 80 rand, my duty was 50 rand. And I thought, what if this guy is just selling me headphones for 70 rand, which was supposed to be 70 rand? And then the money he makes is from the courier service. So that was my feeling. So here, Take a Lot slams Shein Timu for hurting the SA sector. So NASPAD's owned e-commerce group Take a Lot has accused Chinese firms Shein and Timu of hurting the South African economy, warning that investment could be deterred in the sector should playing field not be leveled. So these platforms contribute to market imbalance by flooding the market with inexpensive exports. This influx is particularly noticeable in the local apparel sector due to Shein and the wider general merchandise market affected by both Shein and Timu. So these companies are complaining that Shein and Timu are hurting the economy. And like I was saying, I wish Shein and Timu will come here to Botswana. They must come here and disrupt this market. This place is so expensive. But as I was saying, the buying power is just not there in Botswana. The economy does not have people to buy. I showed you what's happening in the market. Go and look at the TikTok that I did yesterday, walking through the markets. There is a lot of selling, but no buying taking place in Botswana. That is the problem that we have in this country. And in Zimbabwe, with the opposite, the market is there. The problem is the government. In Zimbabwe, the Mnangagwa government has failed to put in place a payment system. So there's no payment system and there's no electronic buying taking place. Because the moment things go electronic, and Mnangagwa, they will lose out. They will not be able to compete in a field that is electronic. That's why you see Mnangagwa, it's in the agriculture sector. And that's the only place that they know how to steal. They can't steal in the electronic sector. They can't compete in the electronic sector. And this is the situation that you're seeing here in the South African story that I'm reading to you here. Right, let's go to some stories. Right, let's talk about a petition. Mukoma Elf Coombs, this question that you've asked me is the most important question of the day. If we handed a petition to ZACC, and I hope that you guys understood what I said yesterday. Handing a petition to ZACC here is not the solution. the petition must be handed in Zambia on the 13th of July. That is where you hand the petition. So don't come to Botswana to hand a petition. Go to Zambia and hand in the petition on the 13th of July, when the MOC meeting is going to take place. I don't know if it's MOC, MCO, Ministerial Committee of the organ, MCO. You must go over there and then hand over the petition. So it's very easy. Bishop Nyamatanga, General Ruende, all the guys go to Zambia and hand in your petition on the 13th of July. You must go there around the 7th, because that is when these guys start arriving. Mahosi is also going to be over there. He's going to go there very, very shortly. So Mkomakums, thank you very much. I did not clarify that point. The petition must be handed at Zambia in early July. So anytime between the 7th of July and the 13th, hand in your petition, drive 50 buses over there and make a chaos over there. That is a way you can get ahead on the Zimbabwe is not wanting Mnangagwa to be chairperson of SADC. That is the solution. So don't try to do it here in Zambia. You have already been told, and I did fact finding for you. The guys here cannot do anything for you. Koma Farai, please Gambakwe do something about this fund. Yes, I'll do so. When I get to Johannesburg, I'll make a plan. So in a week, you have to deal with this low sound for now until I go back to Johannesburg. And then let's go to Team Nakaivenga. They advertise big but very poor quality. Yes, they sell nonsense. Basically, that is the short what I want to say. Like, power bank and I take a team. Guys, these guys are so funny. In fact, Chinese guys, they make me laugh when they're selling their goods. The only thing I like about the Chinese guys, they will disrupt your pricing point like crazy. If you like to sell expensive stuff, Chinese will come with the very same thing at a lower price. They will even make cheaper water. I don't know how they do it. And then Mkoma statement saying, Gambakwe, thanks for all your efforts to give us updated news, and don't hesitate until our voices are heard. Yes, we've got a new order that is coming. And what I can tell you guys that Panetwa dialogue, the day when the dialogue starts, you see me, I'll be there. You can't have dialogue without Gambakwe. It's not possible. Guys, we have to give you everything that's happening. And this thing of politics happening in the shadows must stop. I don't like it when people do politics in the shadows, and that is what we need to work on. Once our politics is out in the open, you see all the people who are trying to be strange or who are taking advantage or gatekeepers, they won't have a space. Then the ones I'm coming on Tafazwa, morning Gambakwe, for Bishop Warkuramba protest, what's going on? Yes, ask the people who've been saying the bishop was not abducted. Why did he stop the protest? So those are the people you must ask. I want to say, and it's very unfortunate, our intelligence services, Ananesu, they are very dangerous. They're the ones who called Bishop Nyamakanga. I don't know what they did to him. I don't know if he's fine, but something made him stop the protests. And then Mike saying, you mean no person is allowed to sell his hair cows? Only government will do that. This is becoming too much. Yes. As from yesterday, there was an announcement, and it's no longer allowed. You are banned from selling your own cow. You can only sell your cow through the government allocated place or market. Market. That's what he called it. Upper. You can see what they're installing. This is the installation. This thing is like, when vampires are coming in the movie, it just pops up. This is the vampire, this thing. It's everywhere. And this thing costs a lot of money. And it's going to be everywhere in the country, the whole country. And that is what they're using for the markets also. It's going to be there in the markets. And now you're going to have title deeds, which means one day you're going to wake up and they say you must put that thing in your house. And the guys are very efficient who are doing this. The guy who puts that thing up is very, very efficient in doing it. I don't know where they get it, but they're putting up all these boreholes all over the country. They're putting the drilling equipment, and now they're putting the solar. So they're gonna put this in the raw areas, and the person doing it is Wicknell Chivayo's father-in-law here, David Madzikanda. So you can imagine how corrupt this whole thing is. We didn't know all along how this was linked to Wicknell, but you can see clearly that David Madzikanda was the one giving Wicknell the tenders at ZACC. He is the chairperson of ZACC, and he's the father-in-law of Wicknell Chivayo. So there is a lot taking place, and all these things are happening right under our noses. And if you don't do something, eventually they are going to come and take your house in town. This is where it's going, because these guys can't do anything. They don't have imagination. That is their biggest problem. So I want to bring this to an end, and I would like to end with one story I'd forgotten here. This is President Manyara Irene Mienziwa attending the Select USA Summit. This was just issued. She is a very interesting Manyara Irene Mienziwa. I do not know why she did not align herself with more likable people. Like, she went into NERA, and I think that was a mistake. I think Irene Manyara Mienziwa going into NERA was a mistake. She should have gone into other setups, and I would like to advise her to reconsider a decision to work with the NERA. And NERA is got some very odd characters in it, and that is why she did not succeed. She is very well known internationally. You should check her profile, and people wonder why she is able to get into certain diplomatic spaces. She is a person that has got a lot of experience, a businesswoman, and as I showed you last week, she was able to get that letter from ZACC, and we've confirmed everything that she said. That in 2 years' time, that is the only time that ZACC is going to come back to Zimbabwe. So I do not know, but I think she made a mistake to align herself with the NERA. Those are not the people to align herself with. And obviously, I'm sharing with you my picture here at ZACC, the first person in Zimbabwe to arrive at ZACC. Can you believe it, guys? Gambakwe is the first person to arrive at ZACC. Gambakwe discovered ZACC in Botswana. So I hope that brings to an end the debate about Chibaba Ndiani, Chibaba Chivanu, Zimbabwe. Let's see if there's another comment here. Gambakwe may assure us that the bishop is safe and that the information which was in his phone is not going to be used to track the people one by one. But say Ishwa before they attempt to come out to protest. So I want to ask you a question. Why did the bishop stop the protest? If you can answer that question, then he's safe. But if you can't answer that question, he's not safe. The only thing that I'm seeing is people looking at other things. Why did the bishop abruptly stop the protest? So this is crazy. And then Command Gerald Nglob says many useless people benefited from the land reform. But at the moment, Mnangagwa is using the land department, Minister of Lands, for corruption. Eventually, all those deals in the Minister of Lands must be investigated, because right now everyone has been let go. The ZACC has been disempowered. They can't do anything. And Chivayo is free. Mike Chimombe is free. Moses Mpofu is free. Chigumba is free. And who else is free? Shwaya is free. Isaac Moy is free. And no one is investigating. But the godfather, Chibaba, is Mnangagwa. He's the one behind the whole thing. He's the one collecting the cash. That is why you can see Kuti. These companies are getting to my 4 million, to my 5 million, but you can't tell where the rest of the money is going. That is because behind the scenes, Chibaba. And my belief is that Mnangagwa is trying to raise at least between 500 million and 1 billion. From what I said to you, based on what my sources say, that he owes a lot of money to many people during the coup. So this is all I have for today. Let's meet in Zambia. Right, let's meet in Zambia, guys, on the 13th. That means I'm going to have to travel to Zambia around in a week and a half's time. The 13th is a Saturday. So make sure you're over there in Zambia. We book our flights. We arrive at the MCO meeting, and we make it happen. And then I want to read that last comment about Chamisa. Chamisa is very controversial. Gambakwe Chamisa ndiye akakanganisa paye paakarambidza vanhu kupinda road after election. It was not possible. Chamisa was not able to put people on the street because Zimbabweans are generally afraid. Guys, the level of fear among Zimbabweans is scary. Like, people are afraid to talk, to like a tweet. Is that bad? There's no protest that you're going to see coming from ordinary Zimbabweans without a leader. You need a clear leader who is going to take people and walk at the front. And this is what Bishop Mnangagwa had started. And that is why you saw Kuti was crushed so badly. You cannot do a protest where the leader is just telling people to go. It's not like Kenya. The Kenyan guys, if you're shooting, they are walking towards you. That is how bad it is in Kenya. But it's not possible in Zimbabwe. And then Mkoma really, Mr. Brian Lee was the Bishop Botswana trip worth it after all? Yes, it was perfectly worth it. Now we don't have to waste lots of money coming to Botswana. So no one is going to come here. There's nothing here in Botswana. Don't come here with anything. Don't go to SADC Secretariat. Don't go to European Union delegation. Those guys are not the ones that can help you. Go to the MCO. So wherever the MCO is, now the MCO is going to be in Zimbabwe. The chairperson is going to be in Zimbabwe. Well, I don't think the MCO will be in Zimbabwe, but the summit will be in Zimbabwe. So a SADC chairperson, Mnangagwa won't be able to do certain things, like shooting people on the street. So now you know where to go. Go to summit, go to MCO. I think I need to go. Mkomati, we'll talk about this. I'll give you a chance to join tonight when we do our SADC protest update. The protest must go on, and on the 13th of July, there must be a protest in Zambia. No one will kill you over there. Guys, if you fail to protest in Zambia, so please organize yourself, hire buses, 10 buses, 20 buses, go over to Zambia, flood that place. The Zimbabweans in Zambia, organize yourself, go to the venue, and make sure that you make your voice heard. Don't put 2 people, 3 people. Let's say 5,000, 10,000 people over there in the MCO. That is the suggestion that I'm giving you here. That will work. And Mnangagwa can't bring people to shoot you in Zambia. So that is it for today. I'm going to end it here. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Please watch all the videos that I'll be sharing, showing you what's happening here in Botswana. And I'll see you again tonight, 9:10 p.m. Thank you very much, and a good day to you all.